Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shaylin and I own Ollie's Crochet, where we sell patterns, plushies, and more. I have been running my business for almost 4 years now. January is going to be 4 years, and I've been doing it full time for pretty much a year, which I explained in the video a little while ago. I can't pinpoint it exactly, but let's say a year for the sake of this video. I consider myself to be pretty seasoned in markets. Now, personally, because I'm a toddler mom, I only do them about twice a year, but they always do really well, and I used to do them a little bit more often in the past. But I wanted to tell you guys my best sellers at markets that I always bring a ton of, or try to at least, based on whether or not I have time to prep them, but they always do really well. And I thought it would be some good insight for you guys who either want to take your business full time or just have a really good side hustle income, or just a successful market for your hobby. In this video, I'm also going to be telling you guys how much I sell each item for, or at least a recommendation. It could be like a little estimate where this is what I would sell it for, this range, but I sell it for this amount, if that makes sense. Just, you'll see. And one of these plushies specifically is going to be definitely more time consuming. It requires some sewing. It's not no-sew by any means, but it still does really well for me at every market as well as online, so I wanted to include it anyway. It is almost Christmas time. Today is, I think, November 16th, so that's why we're jumping into this video, because it is the heat of the market season. With Christmas coming up, the holidays are around the corner. People are getting ready to stock up on presents if they haven't already, and a lot of these are also really good stocking stuffers, which I do recommend having a stocking stuffer section at your market booth if you have the space for it. It kind of just gives people some more ideas as what to use their purchase for, and I think would encourage a little bit more sales during the holiday season. So let's go ahead and get into it. One of the first ones that I love to bring to markets is a very popular pattern. It's actually something that went extremely viral years ago, and I don't think it's ever stopped. So it's the cable and canvas mushy pops pattern. Mushrooms are really popular in the crochet world and really in the plushie world. I think they're just so fun and whimsical, and the cottage core theme is really big right now. So these are something that I have brought to quite a few markets, and I haven't made them in a little while, but I definitely need to get back to it because they always do so good. I have personally never put them on keychains, but I know Kate, who runs Cable and Canvas, the original pattern designer, has put them on keychains, and I remember specifically that's her video that actually went viral. So I'm sure the keychain version does really well. But personally, I've just brought them normal to markets without keychains and just as a plushie, and they always sell out. And I usually bring those to markets for around $8 to $12, depending on which yarn I use. They don't take long to work up. They're, I would say, probably 20-ish minutes to make. So that's a really good price point in my opinion, because you can knock out a few in quite a short amount of time. And I think once you get into the swing of it and you've made so many, you can memorize the pattern and you could probably get them done in like 15 minutes flat. Those are completely no-sew also. The only part that is a little bit tedious is the embroidery, but I will be honest, I've actually done some of them without embroidery and some with, and either way, they always do really well. But I do prefer the embroidered look more, so I think it's worth it to just take that extra minute and put in that effort and embroider the little spots on the mushroom, and they will do really good at your market and be really cute. The next plushie that I love to bring to markets, and I have brought to every single market to date, is Leggy Frogs. I use the Leggy Frog pattern by Not Jaded Co. She's the original Leggy Frog designer, and they are the best. I prefer the mini Leggy Frogs. She has a couple different sizes. The mini ones I sell, depending on what yarn I use and how small they are, anywhere from $5 to $8 is what I normally stick with. And I usually use Bernat blanket yarn, and I do them for about $8. These are really fast. They work up in probably about 20 minutes. They're quick. They're no-sew. Really just you sew the bottom together, but I don't even consider that sewing because it's not attaching pieces. And you can use safety eyes. They just pop right into little bobbles, and they're just so cute. They do so good, and people love them at markets. They kind of rave for them, and they go quick. The next one is still a kind of frog. I don't know off the top of my head the original creator of this, but I'll pop it here. And all of these patterns are also in the description, but it is the Chonky Frogs. I think it's all from Jade, to be honest, but they do really well. I bring these to my markets for $7 to $8 as well. I like to use Bernat blanket yarn with them, and they do so good. They're just like little pocket frogs. They're fat little spherical shapes almost, and they do so good. The frogs are really popular, I've noticed, especially in the crochet world, and everybody just loves a frog plushie. I think they're just a fun little plushie that's not your typical like bear or unicorn, stuff like that. So these frogs frogs always do really well for me, and they are also no-sew, and they work up really quick, probably in about, I would say, 15-ish minutes. The next one has also gone crazy viral over the last few years, and it has maintained its popularity. It is Mabel Chicken. Mabel Chicken, I bring again to every single market since it went viral, and it always does really well. If I don't sell it at the market, they usually sell out online for me, or I get a lot of custom orders for these. I bring these for $12. I used to do them really low for $7. I have upped the price to $12 because they do take a little bit longer, but what I like to do is prep them all because they are technically no-sew. Oak and Marlowe has a tutorial on her Instagram that shows you how you can make it no-sew, and it's really easy. But I make all of the bodies, and because there's such a wide opening on top, you don't have to stuff them. So these are really, really good for market prep, similar to the leggy frogs, because you don't have to carry along stuffing with you when you're making them. Like, I'll go in the car and make a ton of chicken bodies, and I just have a bag of chicken bodies in my car, and I bring it home, stuff them, close them shut, and I don't have to bring polyfill with me where I go because there's not all these pieces that have to be closed off and sewn shut at once. So these are great, great market prep items. Another good thing about these is that you can either embroider the eyes or place safety eyes. I personally prefer the embroidered eyes for these because I find them a little bit easier to place once the plushie's already been closed off, but they're really cute either way. There's a little bit of embroidery involved with both the beak and the eyes, but it's so quick. I would say doing both is like 2 minutes. So this is maximum, I would say, a 30-minute plushie. And like I said, to me, that is absolute maximum. I think that is probably pushing it a little bit once you have the pattern memorized, but they work up so quick and they do so well. I bring them to a market that is a little bit I live in, I guess, a more rural part of Florida. I wouldn't say it's quite in the country, not yet, it will be soon, but a lot of people out here have chickens and cows and they have their own little farms. So chickens do really, really well, at least where I am. And as far as I know, they do well for everybody who brings them to their markets. Next one up is a very popular pattern by the Crochet Carpenter, and it is Drift the Octopus. So I've only brought these to one market ever, and I sold all of them but 2, and I do these for $15 each. These work up in about 30 minutes, which is crazy for how big the plushie is, like how large the outcome is, but they are so good. It's such an easy pattern to memorize once you get into the swing of things, so you can just knock them out one by one. I did mod it a little bit myself to where I work the tentacles before I close the rest of the body, just so I can continue with that whole market prep thing where I don't have to bring polyfill with me, but you don't have to carry that much polyfill if you don't figure it out that way. And it's just a really easy, straightforward pattern. Aaron makes his patterns like insanely good. He puts so much detail in them. He puts graphs in them that I don't even know how to read. I mean, he does such a good job at making his patterns absolutely perfect, and he's one of the best pattern writers that I've ever seen personally. I tested for him a little while ago and I was blown away. I believe he does it full time too, and he is good. I love this pattern. You can actually make it as a stitchkin or as a plushie, and his stitchkins are like a puppet line where you can put your finger in the plushie and it makes it into a puppet, or you can opt out and just make it a normal plushie, and it gives directions for both. Makes it super easy. It is no-sew and it works up very quick, and it is so popular. I actually sold a few of these while I was setting up at my last market because they did so good. The next plushie that I love that does really well is my cupcakes. This is my own pattern that I offer for free on Instagram or for $1 on Etsy, and I sell these for about $7 to $10 each. Really, I would kind of do it depending on what market I'm going to, if that makes sense. If I'm in the Tampa area, I'd probably do it for like $10. If I'm in the Hudson area, probably like $7, or depending on how popular the market is, things like that. You never want to undersell yourself, of course, but I price differently based on the area that I'm in, but only because I know my area very well, so I know what people are willing to pay that's not undercutting myself. These plushies take about 20 minutes, I would say, to make. They are no-sew. They're really cute, and I display them on a little cupcake stand. I will be honest, when I brought these to my market, I think I've only brought them to 1. I didn't expect them to do as well as they did, but I sold all of them but 2. They were really, really popular, and people just loved them. They were picking them up, playing with them. Everybody bought them. Some people got them to go in their kitchen. They were just really cute and really good. I got such a good reaction from them that I was so happy about. So I highly recommend these, and you could also market them as muffins, cupcakes, whatever. Set up a little bakery section in your booth that looks like baked plushies, and it's perfect. The next one is also another pattern of mine, but it is my little monsters. I have a pattern pack and I have a Halloween edition or a normal one. I usually do these for around $12 to $15 depending on, again, the market, but they're just fun little quirky monsters, and I'm actually almost sold out of these now. I have very few Halloween ones left, but the last time I did a market was 6 months months ago, so I have another one coming up in a few days. The normal ones sell really well. They're just fun little monsters to have, and they are no-sew for the most part, unless you add little details, but at that point, they're no-sew to low-sew. They work up really, really quickly. They're about 30-minute projects, and they do really well at markets. You can definitely up the price depending on your area. I have seen some people in like Oregon, Washington, states that are a little bit more expensive, sell them for like $25, and they told me they do well, but I haven't priced them that high because that's just not my area. But I do really recommend bringing these plushies to a market because they're so fun and they do really well and they're so popular. Up next, this is not a specific plushie, but it is one of my best sellers. It is a mystery plushie bag. So these do really well for me online and in markets. I have marketed mine for $5 each and put tiny little plushies in them, like my baked bean pattern, or just really teeny tiny things like little baby leggy frogs with a thin yarn, and they do really well. People love to just grab a mystery plushie bag, pop it open, and see what they got. So I made over 20 plushie bags and they 100% sold out. I actually had somebody buy 13 of them, which I thought was really crazy and cool. So I have, I think, 20 of them that I'm bringing to my next market that I have prepped and ready to go, and I put little baby Mabel chickens in them. So I'm probably going to be selling those for $7 each, and you can get a mystery chicken. But mystery plushie bags do really well at markets because it's just a fun little surprise and something different to offer. So I highly recommend bringing mystery plushie bags to your market. You can get the bags anywhere. I have custom bags from Vistaprint, but you can even do little party bags from Walmart or the Dollar Tree, the little paper ones that kind of roll up and put them in there. I mean, there's so many different ways to put them in bags that aren't visible and they'll be perfect. I mean, they do really well and they're just, like I said, so fun. I highly recommend bringing these to your market. The final one, this is the one that is not no-sew, but I will be honest, it is one of my favorite patterns in the world and it does so well everywhere. I actually don't think I have any in stock because they all sold out. This is for the Madeline Mako bunny. I went on a crazy streak of making these and I made like 6 of them in a week quite a few years ago, but they're just so much fun to make. They're really great like scrap yarn busters to make them scrappy bunnies or change up the ears and make them super colorful. They're just such fun plushies. I highly recommend making these. This is, like I said, one of my favorite patterns in the world. I bring these pre-made to my market for $50 a piece and they do really well, or I start them up as custom orders, usually starting at like $60 because I use Bernat blanket yarn with an 8mm hook, so it makes them quite large, but I love making them and they're one of my favorite customs that I get. They're so cute with their embroidered faces. Everybody loves bunnies. Bunnies are really popular at markets, especially if you have an Easter market. Easter is, I guess, not coming up. It's like 5 months away, but when you own a small business and you have to be like in the creative process, you start the holidays really early. So this is a pattern that I would definitely bring to an Easter market if you have one, or a Christmas market. Why not? Everybody loves bunnies. People want to buy plushies for their grandkids and their kids for Christmas, and it could be perfect from Santa. The elf made it, you know? It's just such a beautiful pattern. I love it. It is so fun, so whimsical, and so precious. So that concludes my best sellers at markets. They always do so well. They're great to bring to a market. They're really fun to make, and you can make a lot of money and leave your market successfully and have a really good day. Comment below if there's any other best sellers for you that you think I should try. I think it'd be a lot of fun to test some market-friendly patterns and see how well they do. Markets are one of my favorite things to do. They're one of my favorite parts of this business. It's just so much fun interacting with people and seeing people love plushies. So I definitely hope this video helps you guys out to have a super successful market and know what plushies to bring to maybe your first market, something like that. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!